Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the online session organized by Skillveda. Skillveda is your partner in transforming education through innovation, inclusion, and global competencies. We empower your growth with expert-led learning that is flexible and tailored to you. Skillveda is hosting this NEP webinar to unpack the National Education Policy 2020 and what it means for classrooms, skills, and the future of learning. In today's session, we will cover the key shift in NEP, how it impacts curriculum, assessment, and teachers' role, and the new opportunity it creates for students through skill-based and multidisciplinary education. Our goal is simple: to help you to understand NEP beyond the document and see how to apply it in real schools. Let's extend a warm welcome to Ms. 𝗡𝗱𝗂 Sharma, our expert trainer, CBSE resource person, educationist, and consultant. With more than 18 years of experience in education, she is all set to guide you through this learning journey. Welcome, Ms. 𝗡𝗱𝗂.
Thank you very much, Twinkle-ji. It's always, as always, it's a very warm welcome, and I'm honored to be a part of Skillveda. So, very good evening to all the participants. We see a house full here, and I think this we are even streaming it, and it's great participation today. I'll only expect and request you all to be very interactive. However, please make sure that you are either raising your hand or unmuting after you've kind of announced that you want to say something. All right. And when the webinar is going on, let's not break the decorum of the room. So how's everybody doing? Quickly tell me in the chat box, how are you feeling today? Which part of the country have you joined us, and why are you so interested in this particular webinar? Why do you want to know about this? Let's make it interactive.
They can unmute themselves because chat box is disabled.
Yes. Okay, chat box is disabled. So let's unmute. Let me know it from a few people. Where are you from? What do you work as? So we get a good idea of the audience. Anyone who want to go first? And people with videos on, thank you very much, because that makes it interactive enough. That doesn't make it feel like I'm talking to a screen. So anybody who would want to go first and let me know where are you from and what designation do you hold? Out of 50 people out here.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, Arunji.
Myself, Dr. 𝗙𝗂𝘂 𝗘𝗱𝗂 from JP Public School.
Okay.
My specialization in sociology, anthropology, and political science.
Oh, very nice.
And in this present time, I'm working as a PGT, sociology and political science in the same institution.
Very nice. Very honored to have you on board. Thank you. Anyone else who would want to let us know where are they from and what designation?
Good evening, ma'am.
Yes.
I am from Oxford Green Public School, Greater Noida, and I am PGT there. I am interested in knowing how NEP will affect the education in school level, especially the senior secondary.
Right, right. So what subject do you teach?
Ma'am, I'm taking computers, information practices.
All right, IP and CS. That's a very strong combination for our students.
Good evening, ma'am.
Yes, Reena ji.
I'm also Oxford Green Public School as a PGT Hindi teacher.
PGT Hindi teacher. Wow.
Yes.
We really need Hindi teachers. I think there is suddenly a dearth of Hindi teachers now with CBSE dropping a bombshell on us.
Good evening, ma'am.
Yes, good evening. Yes, who was this? Good evening.
I am Prema Pandey, ma'am. Mother teacher of nursery.
Mother teacher of nursery. One of the most important people in the schools. That's what I always say. You look after the foundational stage, which is the most important stage in a child's life. So thank you very much for doing what you do. Thank you very much.
Good evening, ma'am.
Yes, Kavita ji.
𝗙𝗃𝗃 Jadon this side, ma'am. I'm TGT English in Oxford Green Kheda. And of course, I would like to know with the session, what is the role of NEP for the education and for the betterment of the teachers?
And aren't you all also intrigued that, okay, what new bombshells are going to be dropped? Because
What do you
NEP has been there for 5 years now, 6 years now, isn't it? So every now and then there is something new that is coming up because NEP is not an overnight task. So we will continue this thing of introduction as we go on through the webinar. Thank you very much for being interactive enough. With the paucity of time also looking at that, and we have a lot to cover, we'll get started. So with NEP coming in, what is NEP? And we've been hearing this for 5 years. Very simple thing, a policy that was brought in after 34 years to make sure that there was a whole paradigm shift in the education of the country. To make sure that technical education, school education, higher education was reformed to make sure that children, students were globally ready. So that's the whole point of the NEP. The entire shift from the old model of a structure of 10+2 to 5-3-3-4 to from rote memorization to understanding a holistic process, from very rigid subject combinations to making sure there was flexibility, from a time when vocational education was looked down upon to a time where it is respected. From a time that if you entered university and you had to drop out, it was a waste of those 2 or 3 years that you had put in, to a time where there is multiple entry and exit. That is where this entire thing comes in. Key features you can take a screenshot of this. Otherwise, we are going to be sharing all your PDF notes. This is theory. So I will rush through this and I'll quickly do it. And if there's anybody who wants to say something, can quickly raise the hand and you can be allowed to unmute so that you're not lost anywhere and you don't feel not really involved. This is the NEP document. There is an NEP document. If anybody is there who's not really got its hands on it, 𝗏𝗀𝘀𝗃𝗃, what I'll do is I will share the documents, whatever I refer to, the research papers that I have referred to with you, and you can share them in the group for everybody to read.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I will.
Because these are good reads. These are all research papers done by certain social organizations so that we are able to understand and break down the NEP into a very simple thing. This is a very big document. It's not possible for everyone to read it through and through and then remember it also. So quickly running through the principles. First and foremost, holistic development. We are not looking at one student being only academically bright. Maths is important. Read maths. English is important. Read English. Science is important. Physics is important. No. We are looking at sports. We're looking at arts. We're looking at value base. We're looking at skill development. Next up, foundational learning first. The mission is that by the time a child is in grade 3, basic literacy and basic numeracy skills are achieved. There are a lot of schools, I'm sure that the schools you all come from and we all come from are not the ones, but there are a lot of schools in India where basic literacy is not being achieved at that stage. We are teaching children, they are copying things from the blackboard, but they really don't know what they're copying. So the comprehension of what is happening is not there. So that is what we have to achieve. There is a lot of flexibility in learning. So students have the freedom to choose and also have the freedom to express their interests and abilities. Back then in our times, and I'm sure there must be some people of my age group and my times, and even about 15 years back, 10 years back, we could not express that this is what we want to study and this is what my interest is. But children come out today and talk about, I don't like this subject. Why am I even studying it? So they should have the flexibility and they should have that leverage of expressing. Stream barriers between arts and science have to be blurred. There is a lot of talk globally going on where social sciences, and I'm very proud to have people from the social sciences background with us, social sciences is being integrated with a lot of scientific subjects. And it's really important because if you can't put an application to global use, it's of no use. It's just theory that you have. So that is where the stream barriers have to be there. A lot of extracurricular is actually not the term anymore. A lot of people use it as co-curricular. There is nothing like extra. So we use co-curricular as the word. And people actually want to include them in the academic fields. And when I say academic fields, so sports education becomes a very important part. Music education becomes a very important part. Then there is a lot of focus on understanding, on concept base, core understanding. Let's move away from rote learning. For God's sake, the method of 2 into 2 is equal to 4. You have to understand why it is 4. Not just ratify it ke haan, this is 2 into 2 is 4. So the concept has to be clear. Rote memorization has to be done away with. On this point, I want to add on a pro tip for all those people who are teaching 11th and 12th. They would be understanding, and even 9th and 10th. CBSE has made this very bold and very good move of moving to competency-based education, where the question papers are now competency-based. They are moving away from rote learning. This came as a shock to a lot of students. They did not expect it. This time the 10th grade paper was very difficult, which they did not expect at all. So we have to make sure that children understand this. A lot of focus on life skills. I think we've been doing it for some time, but now it is clearly there in the policy. Multilingualism. What is multilingualism? You are using multiple languages to make sure that it is delivered. The concept is delivered. And we are using local context. If a child is in Telangana, if the child is in Andhra Pradesh, is in Kerala, is in Punjab, let's use local language because that is the language the child understands the first. Then we slowly get on the other languages. Also, inclusion. We will talk about all of these in a little detail. Assessment and technology integration, where assessment becomes holistic. A lot of work for the teachers, but that's where we get technology. Also, technology to be integrated where children are studying at a very younger age. I remember back in our times, only a college student used to have access to technology. Now it is coming down. A 5-year-old, a 4-year-old knows how to operate the phone. So let's get technology to help them. And I'm not in favor of screen addicts, but let's get tech to help them at least. A lot of importance on teacher training and on research. If teachers do not do research, if teachers are not trained, all of this is gone for a toss. And I'm known to be very upfront, very clear about, very vocal about my thoughts on these things. It is about time that we step up for our training, and I'm very, very happy to see such a huge turnout over here. And then education for all. Education cannot be a privilege. It is a right. So we have to make sure that investment is made for the masses. Any questions out here? Anybody who wants to ask anything before we move on? Just a very clear infographic, a screenshot of this is going to be helpful. All right, let's begin with restructuring the entire journey of the student. Foundational stage, ages 3 to 8. So all those foundational teachers here, foundational stage teachers here. Let's understand where you come in the picture. 5 years, nursery to class 2. Entire focus is on play-based joyful learning. Yes, we include numeracy, we include literacy, but we also foster a lot of EQ, emotional quotient. We make sure that the child is emotionally safe, emotionally expressive, and we make sure that he is told and taught how to balance his emotions. And that is very important. He grows in a safe zone. A lot of childhood trauma can lead to a lot of issues in adulthood. Then we come to the preparatory stage, which is classes 3 to 5. We are integrating certain formal subjects. Then we move on to the middle stage, which is classes 6 to 8. There is experiential learning. There is inquiry-based learning. And we move to classes 9 to 12. This is the gist. We're going into detail. At the foundational stage, The integration of ECC is always been there, but now the stress is being laid upon a lot of training also. And ECCE will cover entire play-based learning, strengthening the literacy, the socio-emotional development, the numeracy skills. Because by the time the child is 6 years old, we have to understand a lot of brain development is done. And this is research proven. This is not CBSE saying it out of the blue. This is research proven. Even advertisements are talking about it. 5 साल की उम्र तक बच्चे का बहुत सारा विकास हो चुका होता है. So let's know it for sure that this is all research proven by developmental psychologists. It's not just out in the air for an advertisement of a CBSE to say it. CBSE has actually taken a lot of research-based thoughts over it. A lot of importance being laid down to physical and psychological well-being. Children nowadays are hooked onto screens. At home, parents don't have time. Let's face it, they are all busy. Yes, a TV, a mobile phone, an iPad, or a tab is my best friend. So it is now our onus to make sure that physically children are strong enough. There is a lot of collaborative community participation that has to be inculcated. Children don't have real friends anymore. There are so many kids in school who stay absent and they don't have real friends. But if this is pinpointed here itself, then this can grow into, the child can grow into a really safe, emotionally, physically, psychologically strong child. Kajal Chaudhary, can you please stop annotating? You've, I think, clicked on the annotate button and it's causing a little disturbance. So before it causes more disturbance and more annotations, I'd request you to just switch that off. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right. Then we come to the preparatory stage. Sorry, 1 second. All right. Then we come to the preparatory stage. Here we have core subject mastery, along with a lot of activity-oriented work, discovery-based learning, and we make sure that it is done in a multilingual form. It is not done in just one language. Half the children understand, half the children don't understand. I think a lot of regional language literature has also come in. So people have started inculcating it, or it will happen in due course of time. See, NEP is a long drawn mission till 2040. We are sitting in 2026. So let's not expect anything to happen over 5 years. Let's not expect. Slowly and steadily, the changes are going to come. It has to be a very slow and steady process. We are aiming towards holistic development. Holistic development is all art, craft, socio-emotional, music, dance, physical, a lot of stuff together in that preparatory stage. So we have to make sure that that stage is utilized well. Then we move on to the middle stage. Now this stage is adolescence, pre-adolescence. Very, very active, high on energy. These children want everything in one day. Here, handling them becomes very difficult also. At the same time, it is very important and imperative. If there's anybody who doesn't understand any little bit of my verbatim, I can just simplify it also. Anybody who wants to just raise hand or send me a message also through ma'am, just let me know. I can simplify it. And just going in English so that everybody can understand. I'm sure there are people from other parts of the country also. Yeah, so let's come to very abstract concepts, which are important for children to understand these concepts as they grow in the secondary school. Now here the exposure to labs, to hands-on learning, to inquiry-based learning, to making sure the children are curious enough is really important. Vocational exposure, I'm sure everybody has understood, everybody knows 𝗂𝗃𝗃, because I think Skillveda also did a webinar on 𝗂𝗃𝗃𝗃, right, Twinkleji?
Yes, we did, and tomorrow and a day after tomorrow, we have a short-term course on 𝗂𝗃𝗃𝗃.
On 𝗂𝗃𝗃𝗃? Oh, very
Yeah.
good. I think a lot of you should get your hands on, especially people who are teaching middle school or are aspiring to go to middle school. Because vocational exposure in India is also going to go big. Globally, vocational skill development is big. People really need skilled people because there aren't enough, not enough labor to work. So skill education is important because you have to be self-sufficient. And people are having startups because of this little skill education. So please make sure that you have your hands on to what this 𝗂𝗃𝗃 is, entire thing. I'm not an expert, but so I won't be able to answer too many questions of yours on this, but this course of Skillveda will. This course will, definitely. A little bit of integration of bagless days. So let's take the children for art-focused activities, vocational activities, field trips. I think they were always there, but वो पूरे साल में शायद 1 या 2 दिन होते हैं. Let's make it a little longer. Again, skill development where there's computational thinking, critical thinking, with the integration of technology. Modi ji sometime back and CBSE also asserted that we will bring in technology to grade 5 and 6 students. Coding was introduced there. It's not about whether coding will be useful for them or not. It's about an analytical way of thinking. It's about brain training. And just go back to any Google site and connect understanding or learning a coding language, learning coding to analytical thinking, and you will have a lot of literature out there. Please read. Please read. Again, formative, regular performance-based assessment. Let's not leave everything to just 1 3-hour exam. There have to be regular assessments and different ways of assessing. So we'll come to assessment also in one of the slides. When we come to the secondary stage, which is our grades 9 to 12. Now this has been divided in 2 parts, 9th and 10th and 11th and 12th as buckets. Here we have that multidisciplinary flexibility. How many teachers here are of grade 9 and 10? Can you just show a raise of hands? I'll open my... Ma'am, they can raise their hands, right? Yeah, they can. All right. Great. So please understand there are a lot of skill-based subjects that have been introduced in 9th and 10th. And if your school is not doing it already, be the one to raise your voice and say, let's get marketing, let's get travel and tourism as our 6th subject. Why only AI, IT, or subjects that have been there for ages now? Why only those subjects? Let's get more subjects. There are children who do very well when they have marketing and then they make a career out of it. Actually, they just need somebody to guide. Now the focus is on core skills. The syllabus has been reduced. I think in 9th and 11th especially a lot of things have been cut down, and even in 10th and 12th. So focus is on core skills, not on too much of syllabus. Rote, learn, reproduce, put it on paper and get your marks. I'm sure now there is enough room for your 21st century skills to be inculcated in your lesson plans. I know the number of days, teaching days is less with the kind of holidays, and especially because I heard from a few people from UP itself, we have a lot of holidays happening and these holidays cannot be avoided. But please find time, because this skill building will go a long way. With your only syllabus completion, the child will only get marks. But the skill building, the child is going to achieve success. So it's a very big thing that I have said, but please try and steal time for that. So a lot of hands-on approach. Forget about just getting the book, putting it on the chalk blackboard or the whiteboard or through a PPT and delivering the content. Hands-on approaches, there could be a lot of ways to do it. So we'll not go into pedagogy today and we'll not go into what methodology of delivery should be there. But please read. There are 110 ways, and Skillveda does a lot of webinars on skill building for teachers. So now, moving on. Any questions till now? Anybody for any questions? I'll just take a little pause here. Twinkleji, please remind me if I'm going behind, if I'm running behind time, because I tend to explain too much.
No, it's okay. It's perfectly fine.
All right. Okay, moving to curriculum reform.
Any questions from anyone till now?
Any questions till now, please?
We can move ahead.
Okay. All right. So curriculum development, slight repetition throughout the NEP module, but then it's important so that it kind of just gets inculcated in us and we don't forget it. Out of sight, out of mind doesn't happen. So holistic development, again, reduction of rote learning. Please, there's a lot of focus on it. Vocational, art, physical education. Integrate it. Integrate with value-based curricula. Also, a lot of weightage being given to interests and aptitudes. So there is no model of one thing for everyone. Everybody has a different pace of learning. Everybody has a different way of assessing, of delivering the assessment. There are students who are very good verbally, but they can't figure out how to write. So we have to teach them in a different way. So the teaching there has to be different. And that is what brings us to this multilingual approach. This is a CBSE NEP excerpt. This is the entire point number 4, point 12 and point 13. I think a lot of people would know that the 3-language formula has been introduced. Is there anybody who doesn't know it? All right. So the focus till the preparatory stage is that they will be exposed to their own language. They can be taught with that. Emphasis is going to be on that. At the same time, they are introduced to different languages. And with the 3-language formula coming in, we have 2 Indian languages to be taught from middle school or secondary school onwards. So there is no imposition on any state to do a particular language, but their own language can be done. So in UP, I think Hindi and Sanskrit have been introduced. And suddenly, like I said, there is a dearth of Sanskrit and Hindi teachers in every school. Every school is literally on the lookout for Hindi and Sanskrit teachers. So your value is really up, Hindi teachers, I can tell you that. All right, let's look at the holistic progress report. Progress report is not about just marks anymore, especially in the foundational, preparatory and middle stage where you do not have board exams. So the focus can be on how you develop the child holistically, and that is where it matters the most. I start developing a child holistically in grade 10, it doesn't work because the child has already grown up with a particular kind of teaching that he is, he's used to. So we have to start that right from the earlier stages. This holistic progress report card will bring in cognitive growth, of course, the academic subjects, will bring in the socio-emotional aspect of it. How much is the child empathetic? What kind of collaborative work can he do? What kind of communication skills does the child have? It's very important. Okay, another pro tip, please go on to Google, check the 21st century skills. Check the 6 C's of the 21st century skills. That is what comprises of the entire socio-emotional development. Creativity. Is the child artistic? Does the child have expression? Is the child a musician? Is the child a dancer? Alongside, does the child have any kind of problem-solving skills? So let's see creativity. Creativity is about innovation. Creativity is not just about putting certain things on paper and copying a drawing and how beautifully are you able to do it. Creativity is about how well you can use your imagination. Can we unmute? Can we mute, please, Arpan Sinha? Thank you. All right. Then a lot of focus to physical aspects. Fitness is going for a toss. Modi ji is trying really hard. Yoga day, inculcating yoga in every school. Assemblies are a very good way of getting students to do yoga. They have lost the threshold. We see so many children, the moment it is March and it's a little hot, children start falling in the assembly ground. Ranjita Bhardwaj ji. Ranjita Bhardwaj ji. Miss Ranjita, ma'am, can you unmute? Can you mute her?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, Anju.
I have a question,
Just a
ma'am.
minute.
Yes,
Ranjita
please.
ji,
Just
can you
1
hear
second.
us? Ranjita ji.
Yes, ma'am. May I speak,
Ranjita ji,
ma'am?
please mute.
Yes, Anju ji.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, if first of all, good evening, all of you. I am Anju Bhatti from Kheda branch. Ma'am, if I am talking about holistic progress card, so my question is that if any child is not showing the interest in the academic only, and his all interest is going to like vocational and other fields, so what I do in that case?
Yes, it's a very good question and a very valid one. What do you do
Thank
in
you.
case the child is not academically inclined at all?
Yes, ma'am. In any
Right.
subject, ma'am.
In any subject, right?
Yes.
So
Thank you.
there we use so there is a technique where we give certain kind of positive reinforcement to the child, and we bring him to a certain level, not expecting very good grades, but we bring him to an improvement level from his own self, not comparing him to other people, but there's a lot of motivation that has to go into it. We have to understand and accept that this child probably will not go into a career which is academics,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
probably will make a career in something that he's probably a musician, he's probably a dancer or a sports person, and there are a lot of fields opened up for these people now, these children now. Gone are the days when only Bollywood was there for musicians, or only an international cricket playground was there for cricketers. We have so many youngsters, these 14-15-year-olds playing IPL and earning so much money. So we have to accept that. First thing is our acceptance that this child probably is not a hardcore academic child. Secondly, we have to motivate the child to do basic academics.
Ranjita ji, I can't mute yourself from here. Please mute. Hello, Ranjita ji, can you hear us?
I think she's not hearing us,
No,
and
no, actually, I am trying to mute here, but it's not happening from my side.
okay.
Yeah.
All right, Anjuji, coming back to your question. So
Yes, ma'am. Sure.
we have to understand that this child probably will do well in one of those creative or sports kind of fields. So the acceptance has to be there, the motivation has to be there. Somewhere the understanding, the insight has to be built with the child that basic academics have to be achieved. Not everybody is Sachin Tendulkar that a 10th dropout will make it big. And that's it's too much of a high risk career or high risk thing that we are aiming at. Prodigy children are recognized right in the beginning. So it's worth taking a chance based on how the parents take the risk. Your job to bring the child academically only to that level where he's able to survive. Do not expect this child to be too bright and bring up the average of your class. This child will always put a dent on the average of your class.
Yes,
Please
ma'am.
understand that.
Sure,
What class
ma'am.
do you teach, ma'am?
Ma'am, 5th class, PRT English.
Class. Class
Thank
5th
you
tak
so
to
much, ma'am.
usually we get to know that, okay, this child is probably not the academic child, he's probably a different kind of child. So we just have to
But
go on
ma'am, I'm talking about especially my child. Now he
All
is in
right.
6th grade. Yes, ma'am.
All right.
It's my
Maybe
personal concern.
Pinkaji, maybe Anju ma'am can connect with me later on, and we've dealt with a lot of these kind of children, so we'll guide you even more.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
All right.
Good evening, ma'am. I have a query.
Yes, please.
It's me, Ankita from OGPS Kheda branch.
Yes, ma'am.
Actually, I just want to ask you that will CBSE provide any standard rubrics or a digital platform for implementing holistic progress card effectively?
Good question. Till now, we have not seen it, but we have seen a lot of schools implement a holistic progress card, of which I have a few samples of that, which I will be sharing with Twinkle ma'am today, and you can always have a look at it. It is always tailor-made for every school. That kind of standardization has not been done till now, in my knowledge.
Okay. I have one more question to ask.
Please.
I just want to get an example how we can adapt or how we can train a parent to understand and accept holistic assessment instead of focusing only on academics.
Oh, that's a very big job. Parent training is, I think, the most difficult job that you have. And yeah, I'm sure our teachers are trying to do it as best as they can. Galaxy M55, can you please mute yourself? Thank you. Okay, Ankitaji, coming back to your question. Parent coaching is important. The school has to take the onus of doing a lot of parenting workshops where the participation, the attendance is mandatory. Parent has to be made to sit down in whatever language they understand. They have to be told the positives of the child first. So you have regular PTMs and they would be coming with complaints that this child is not doing well in academics, right? There we start the PTM on a positive note first. We don't start the PTM with the parent complaining. So the moment the parent hears this from another person who is kind of not as involved as the parent is, or as a new teacher to the child, the parent's eyebrows are raised and kind of inside is built that, oh my God, my child has this? Are you talking about my child? But he doesn't do this, he doesn't do this, he doesn't do this. So the parent comes with a lot of complaints. You have to make sure that you are praising the child. You have certain benchmarks which the child has achieved in the area that he is good. So if the child is a singer, if the child is a footballer, he's played enough matches. If he's a singer, he's been on stage on the mic. If he's a dancer, she's a dancer, you can have certain videos clicked. So the parent gets some testimony, some kind of proof, evidence that my child is doing great in this particular field. And then the awareness of what he can make out of this. There are a lot of parents, so I am a counselor, and a lot of parents come to me and say, ma'am, iska karega kya? So there, the school counselor comes into picture. If the school counselor is not there or is not equipped enough, make sure that you have certain amount of information that you can give to the parent. So your information bank is very important. Simply Google it and keep it beforehand that, okay, this is the information I need to give to this parent if the parent is going to come and pounce upon me that this child is not doing well. Right? Does that answer your question?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for this.
Thank you. Any other question? Anybody else? All right. And
Good
thank you
evening.
very much for asking these questions. Hanji.
Sorry, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am.
No, sorry. Please go ahead, Ramji.
Yes, ma'am. My name is 𝗬𝗀, ma'am. And basically, I have a particular question, ma'am, regarding social emotional development, ma'am. So basically, what I have found out throughout my journey in teaching, ma'am, that the students that are not connected with the subjects. Let us take an example of environment. There's a chapter in geography, ma'am. So basically, the students who are having that chapter, they are not understanding the real life meaning of that particular chapter, and either they are understanding the chapter, they are not able to put out in societal figure throughout their journey in future, ma'am. So what we have to do for this particular thing to make them to understand that this is also important for them, and to make sure that they also bring that particular thing in their real life as well.
What class student are you talking about?
Ma'am, basically I'm teaching, right now I'm teaching 9th and 10th standard, but before I taught 7th, 8th, 9th standard as well, ma'am. So basically,
I just wanted to know the age group of the child, because that's how you treat the child then. Honestly, it's a treatment. Yes, sir.
ma'am, as a social science teacher, we know that India is facing a very heat wave right now, ma'am. So basically, somewhere we have lagged in education. That is why we are facing these kind of issues and pollution's problem as well, ma'am. So it is not about age group, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It is not about age group.
No, I was asking about age group because that's how you show that's the kind of picture you show to the child.
9th and 10th
If it's
standard.
too young a child, we don't show a very grave situation. But a 9th and 10th grader is mature enough, and today's 9th and 10th grader is very mature. So we have to show a situation. Now, when you connect environmental science with real life situations, show them videos that are actually showing the real situation of the country, the garbage fills, the landfills, how it is actually spoiling the lungs of everybody, the pollution levels that are going up, the emissions, and then connect them to what kind of impositions we have to face. Further connect them to what kind of problems it creates for livelihood. Today's pre-adolescents and adolescents children, these children are very focused on one thing. They want to earn money. They want to have a successful life. Connect it to their reward in the future. connected to what their world is going to be. Give them some kind of, so this is not exactly a cognitive behavior therapy, but we show them what is going to come in times to come, in maybe a few years, so that they're able to get some kind of empathy. Sometimes these situations are, I'll just finish and I'll come to you. Sometimes these situations are very incorrigible because there is absolutely no empathy building at home. And you trust me, you can't do much about them. At least the whole class is understanding. You will have one or two students who will always stand out and say, I don't care about it. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
So those one or two students at least focus on the positive in the entire class and don't give their thoughts too much of weightage. It will somehow either die down or they will stop discussing it openly, so as to influence the other students also. So this is all the positive influence that you are improving upon, and the negative influence that you are trying to ignore. You snub them every time, they will have the attention and they will only say it more and more. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. One more question, ma'am, regarding NEP, ma'am. Like, the question is about potential, knowing potential, ma'am, of the student. So basically, like, is there any kind of things that are given in NEP for the students that they will know about their own potential, ma'am, by themselves?
So NEP right now just talks about observations, but there are a lot of psychometric assessments that we do for students of 8th to 12th. So starting from middle age group, we do a lot of psychometric assessments. There are interest tests, there are aptitude and skill tests that we do for children. And a trained counselor should be able to do it, but there's a lot of them are AI generated also, which kind of give you the analysis immediately. Good schools usually have them on board. I do it for my students in school. It's a mandate that all my 9th and 10th graders have to go through it. So these show the aptitude of the child very clearly through an analysis. There are few domains that, you know, these psychometrics will showcase. And even if you don't want to, invest in a proper psychometric through AI, just a school counselor can do a simple pen and paper test, which is very, very easy to assess manually. So much so that a self-assessment can be done for the students. So it's all about one orientation session, further going on to distributing that pen and paper test, and then doing a calculation and doing a self-assessment that this is my interest area, this is what kind of a person I am, and this is what my aptitude is. Mapping all the three, we talk to students about what kind of subjects they should have or what kind of career they should have and what do they need to work on. Because a lot of students will have a conditioned mindset of I want to do science and I want to be an engineer, but they will not have the numerical aptitude. So we kind of connect all of this together and we try and make the student understand. Again, this is all the job of a trained professional. You are not expected to do all this, but you can introduce this and you can at least talk about it in your meetings when you have it with the management. Does that answer both your questions, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Right. Anybody else with any question? Geeta ji, can you please mute?
Excuse me, ma'am. One more query.
Yes, sir.
Actually,
Yes,
I was just going through designing a holistic progress report card. I went through lots of report cards actually, but I just want a favor from your side. If you have any progress card related to
I will
holistic
share it.
development, please kindly share to us.
I will
So
share it.
will be very beneficial to us.
Sure. Absolutely. I will share it. I will share whatever PDFs I have taken my entire PPT from, and wherever I have put in the research, I will make sure that I share all of that. Knowledge is always there to be shared. It is only
So
through
much,
this power of collaboration that we improve.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right. Moving to, again, the progress card. Earlier, it was marks-based. Entire academic performance, standardized tests, no multiple assessment, no projects, no reviews, nothing. Only teacher-based evaluation. Again, rote learning and memorization. Only academic subjects. And then no use of technology. Everything we are entering manually by hand. Let's switch this to a 360-degree holistic report card. Again, this can be easily done till grade 8 middle school, 9 to 12 has to be more standardized because of the board exam still being present. The day we achieve a situation where board exam is not being done, let's see what happens then. Right? I hope the screenshot is done and I can move on. Here, I just want to understand, help you understand that board exams are not going to be done away with, but they are more about competency now. Please, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th teachers, focus on competency. Children are facing it really hard. A second set of board is not the answer. A re-evaluation is not the answer. Please make sure you are really going on to this part of competency. Again, we have to make sure that how do these children take these high pressure scenarios. We see a lot of, so we do these board exam duties where counselors are put so that if there's a child who's panicking is taken care of, and there are quite a few of them. So make sure of that. Parakh is a national benchmark. This is usually done in class 9. A few students are taken, 1 class or 2 classes are taken. There's a standard setting to evaluate the level of the school. Any Parakh coordinators here who would want to throw some more light on that? Okay, so we'll move on. Please contact your Parakh coordinators. Every school has a Parakh coordinator. CBSE has also appointed some regional or zonal coordinators to help the school get through the entire Parakh benchmark. Right? And then, of course, we've talked enough about the holistic progress report card. Now let's understand what is this competency based. I've been just talking about competency based. Anybody who can throw some light on what this competency is? है क्या ये competency बोलते किसको है? Anybody who wants to
may I speak,
yes.
ma'am? Anuj Shaunak.
Yes, sir. Please.
Ma'am, competency based are how skills or knowledge can be applied in various situations, and how differently he can just manipulate it or reform it according to the situation. So
absolutely on spot.
Thank you, ma'am.
Absolutely on spot. It's not about just one concept in one particular scenario. It's about that concept in different scenarios. It's about integrating that concept with different concepts. It's not about one physics concept and standalone in silos. No, it's about integrating it with other things. It's about developing a holistic learner where you have the core competencies, where you developed enough abilities about resilience, about ethics, about perseverance, and then you develop enough skills. This child is ready for the future. Again, please don't focus on marks alone. I know marks are important. I'm not denying that. Till the time we have a marks-based system, marks are going to be important. But now a lot of universities are coming up with a lot of holistic assessment. We will talk about it when we come to higher education. Right. Here, when it comes to
good
teachers.
Evening.
Yes, Ankita.
Good evening. This side Ankita 𝗃𝗱𝗂𝗰 from Oxford Green Public School. Ma'am, can you just tell us what is Parakh?
So Parakh is basically a standardized assessment where there is a login ID and everything made, and every school students, 9th grade students, are made to sit down and do that assessment. And then CBSE at the back end kind of understands where the level of the school is. Because 9th grade, it is always internal exams. Board, we still understand it's a standardized assessment, right? 10th grade and 12th grade. 9th grade is always internal. So to understand that is Parakh, but I'm not the best person. I'm not an expert of Parakh. That's why I'm saying connect with the school's coordinator for Parakh. At least tell your management to connect with the zonal coordinator and you can get Parakh on board.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
I will not give you any false information, but I've given you that trigger to, I've kind of triggered your curiosity to know what it is.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
All right. So when we talk about competency-based, we're talking about a lot of individualized learning. Individualized learning is every child has a different way of learning and every child has a different way of expressing. So we have to make sure that we design our lesson plans with that entire differentiated learning concept. It is not just supposed to be done in a workshop. It is supposed to be done in a classroom. It has to be brought from a workshop to a classroom. I know a lot of workshops happen on differentiated learning, but it has to be brought from the workshop to the classroom. Different strategies to study. Help the child design a study strategy. No, why do you have to just impose, open the book, read it, done? Nowadays, children have this, especially the older children, grade 7, 8 onwards. They have this new study strategy. I'll open a YouTube shorts and I will understand the concept. I don't understand what the teacher teaches. I don't want to understand what the teacher teaches. Please curb that. They are using all unauthentic sources and they're learning the wrong concept. Here, if there are principals with us, with all due respect, please make sure that teachers are given a lot of process support. Because if the teachers are involved in just trying to generate support for themselves, the time for their learning is compromised. The planning and the academic content has to be very solid. There is no denying that your academic content has to be top notch. It cannot be compromised upon. So make sure that your academic content is absolutely 10 on 10. You have to read beyond the books to ensure that children ask you questions beyond the books, you're able to answer them. Right? Now we move to inclusive education. Any questions till now? I think we've answered enough questions. All right. We move to inclusive education. What is inclusive education? Anybody who would want to answer?
Yes, ma'am. It's Seema from my side.
Yes.
Of Green Public School, Kheda branch. Inclusion means.
What do you teach, ma'am?
Ma'am, class 1.
Okay, great.
I'm a mother teacher of class 1st. Inclusion means study of the student. There are two types of learners: special need learners and normal learners. The study of normal students with the special needs students is called inclusive education.
All right, excellent. Good thought. Good answer. Anybody else who would want to add on something?
Ma'am,
Yes,
may I?
Yes, Tuti, please.
Ma'am, inclusive means including all, regardless of their gender, their caste, their background, their social economic background, and all. Teaching everyone the same thing and making sure that they get those things is inclusive education.
May I add something, ma'am?
Yes, please.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, inclusive education is to teach the disabled student in the same classroom.
Okay. So what we're talking here is about gender, about abilities, and about flexibilities. There is a screenshot that I have put there of the Indian Journal of Multidisciplinary Research. And this entire concept has been taken from there, where they say equity and inclusion, the two highlights of NEP, where all barriers are absolutely run down. We have to make sure that there is no stereotypical examples given in the classroom. लड़कियां हैं तो ये करेंगी, लड़के हैं तो ये करेंगे. That kind of gender discrimination is wiped out. To top it all, who is this? All right, thank you. To top it all, we have a concept of non-binary genders now. Please read about it. It's not a Western concept or anything. It's actually happening in the country. The sooner we accept, the better it is. The children get a more emotionally safe zone. So make sure of that. Different abilities, different IEPs, different plans, different success rate, different results. That's it, period. It's not about a child with special needs. It's about maybe a particular kind of aptitude. And here I would want to just, again, a pro tip. There is a concept of multiple intelligence, where the child may not be a CWSN, a child with special needs. He may not be an IQ borderline, an ID child, or a child with a specific learning disability, or a child with ADHD or autism. No. He could just have a different kind of intelligence at a higher quotient and certain kind of intelligence at a lower quotient. That does not mean that he is IQ deficient. So please make sure that the abilities of children are noticed and then the children are encouraged in that direction. It is not an easy task. We are not talking about easy tasks. Being a teacher is not an easy task. So forget about anything coming easy to you. As the mentors of tomorrow's future, you are not doing anything easy. So ये तो भूल जाइए कि हम कुछ आसान करने वाले हैं कभी भी. हमारे लिए कुछ भी आसान नहीं है. In a classroom of like 35, 40, even 45 sometimes, it can be difficult. But that's where the challenge is. And a lot of flexibility brought in. When you talk about CWSN, when you talk about a child who has musical intelligence, when you talk about a child who is not able to cope up with the pace of the class, let's give him some kind of flexibility. CWSN children have a different kind of question paper. Children with multiple intelligence can be motivated. There are lots of ways. Children who are high on a particular intelligence can be given the spotlight. And that is what is equity and inclusion. Now, this is again what the goals of inclusive education are, where we have an absolutely welcoming learning environment. We make sure that every child feels welcomed in the class. There are times children absolutely break down in the class, in the counselor's room, and they say, I don't feel like going to that class. Every time there is a particular class and the child has been demeaned there, he falls sick. There are psychosomatic symptoms that the children show. Please make sure that they don't go through this. There is a quota for EWS in most of the schools now. Don't make them feel that they are somebody less. They already have a lot of peer pressure to handle. So we have to just make sure, we don't even have to give them too much attention so that, the others start feeling envious and jealous of them. We just have to be normal with them. And then we have to make sure that children overcome the challenges that are holding them back to join the classes. Now, this is actually true for a lot of government schools and schools in the rural areas. I'm sure your areas, this kind of a scenario doesn't really happen. The dropout rate and everything is not really too much. So I'm not talking too much in detail about this. Children with disabilities actually need a differentiated learning. Here, I would want to add on, there are gifted children also in your classroom. I'm sure you people have, you people have one or two children who do the questions very quickly and then they come and say, ma'am, done. Sir, done. So for them, you could have a higher order worksheet ready so that they do not create nuisance in the class. Done this, do this now. Maybe you could have, it's a heterogeneous group, right? Maybe you could have 2 or 3 different types of worksheets being given to different kinds of children. And you know them. You know who's who. You know what level is who. So maybe you could do that. Maybe you could have just a few worksheets for these gifted children so that they feel challenged enough. So that is important. And then your training to handle different kind of children in the class with different needs. Your training is very important. It's not only the special educator's job. It is not only the counselor's job. It cannot be, because every child doesn't need a special educator. Every child doesn't need a counselor. He just needs an understanding teacher. That's it. So NEP focuses on that. And now we have this entire thing again from the research of social sciences and humanities. And I would really want you to read this journal. I have them downloaded. I will share them. I will share them. We're talking about a lot of universal design of learning. So we're talking about support of special needs children and ECCE. We're talking about your empowerment. We're talking about your professional development. We are talking about research and innovation. We're talking about a lot of inclusive budgeting. So schools have to make sure that there's enough budget to train teachers, to make inclusive classrooms, to have ramps and facilities for PWD children, empowering the marginalized group. These children feel that social isolation, and we just have to make sure that this social isolation that barrier is broken. Right? Any questions till now? Any real life scenarios that you feel challenged about? Okay, so now I have a question for you all. What is the difference between equality, equity, and justice? Anyone who would want to answer? Give it a shot. There's no right or wrong. We're not judging.
Ma'am, may I?
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am, please.
Ma'am, equality means giving equal resources to everyone, but equity means being fair enough with everyone.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Good enough. Anyone else who wants to add on?
Actually, ma'am, according to me, quality means which provides quality education to the students. Equity means which gives a proper support to each and every student equally with equal opportunities. Justice means removing barriers, unfairness to every child so that they can get equal opportunities and get equal respect in the society.
Very nice. Thank you. Excellent answers, both of you. Anybody else who would want to add on, or should I move on? I think considering the time constraint, we'll move on. This is what is the entire concept of equality, equity, and justice. It's a very simple screenshot to understand. I've also obviously downloaded it from somewhere. Sometimes we just assume same support to the entire class. Why isn't the entire class performing in the same way? Here we have to make sure that everybody gets the support that they need and the amount of support that they need. And with the accommodations, without the support, some kind of inequity has to be addressed. So please keep that in your mind. It's not a part of NEP, it was a special pro tip. Okay, let's move on to health mandates by the NEP. Now, this entire healthcare mandate talks about regular checkups, talk about health and nutrition monitoring, and talks about wellness. Now, every school ideally should have a wellness club, because wellness is not just about physical health, it's about mental health also. Considering the suicide rate in India, the suicide rate is highest in the world. The suicide rate in India. This is statistics talking. I wanted to put that data, but it could have been scary. So I've not put that. Adolescents, younger children, everybody is going through mental health issues. Childhood depression is real. It is there. Childhood trauma is real. Let's have equipped people to take care of this. If your school does not have a counselor and you happen to have a chance with talking to your management or your principal or vice principal, please slip this thought in. I'm sure principals are listening and they already have people here, because if there are principals listening to this kind of a session, then they're aware principals enough. The counseling thing has also been made mandatory by CBSE. So every 500 children have to have a counselor. And in the senior school, you have to have a career counselor also. So please make sure that this entire concept of healthcare mandates is read and well thought about. Now we talk about what is multidisciplinary. What is multidisciplinary? What are we talking about when we're talking multidisciplinary? Anybody?
Ma'am.
Yes.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
This side Bharti Kaushik. And ma'am, in my opinion, multidisciplinary means when we are including more than one subject in a particular topic, basically. Suppose I am talking about suppose खरीफ क्रॉप, तो हम बच्चों को उसके रिगार्डिंग बता सकते हैं कि ये क्रॉप किस स्टेट में है, लीस्ट प्रोड्यूसिंग स्टेट, तो उसकी ज्योग्राफी भी बता सकते हैं हम बच्चों को। तो एक ही टॉपिक से हम बच्चों को डिफरेंट चीजों से, सब्जेक्ट से रिलेट करते हैं। तो बेसिकली इट इज मल्टी डिसिप्लिनरी।
Perfect. Thank you very much. Very well
Excuse me.
answered. Yes, sir.
May I add on, ma'am?
Yes, of course.
Ma'am, basically multidisciplinary means that an art student can take some science, even math. Many universities are implementing it, provided they meet the basic criteria. For example, in my university where I'm doing PhD, IGNOU, they have implemented even an art student can get the maths provided he clears the basic math. So they can provide.
Absolutely. So this has come down to school level also. So here I'm just going to show you certain things. Multidisciplinary is all about subject options. These are actual subject combinations for grade 11 in a lot of schools, where we are talking about history, maths, and physical education being taught together. Where we are talking about physics, biology, computer science, that can be taken together. Where we talk about mass media studies as a very important subject, as a main subject. And now CBSE also does not say anything like a main subject or an optional subject. CBSE does not do this categorization. CBSE has also blurred all the streams thing from grade 11 and 12. So it is only for the school's understanding and for timetable purpose that we still have this stream concept, but otherwise there is no stream concept in CBSE anymore. Like when you have the mark sheet of grade 12, they don't say commerce stream. They don't say humanities stream. They just write the subjects. 5 or 6 or they just write the subjects. Right? Right? Understood this thing? Now, a lot of different combinations coming up. Here, I want to just give you, especially the senior school and the senior secondary school teachers, please do this activity for yourself, where with these different kind of combinations, you could figure out what career will the child make. With psychology, biology, and history, and a foreign language, what kind of career will the child make? With maths, physics, and economics, what kind of career will the child make? With political science, economics, and maths, can you please remove this annotation? Ma'am, can you remove this person from the group?
I can't see the name of the person who is doing it. Otherwise, next time we won't say anything. We will just remove it.
Yes. Please do that. All right. So please give it a thought. I'm not doing this activity right now because it's already 8:10 and I'm sure everybody has things to do. It's almost dinner time now. So please give it a thought. There are children who will come up to you and ask you. Understand one thing, counselor के पास जाने से पहले, teacher is the first level of counseling for every child. So you need to know what you need to tell the child, right? Now, moving on, skill development under NEP. Super important, vocational skills. Like I just said in the beginning also, dignity of labor has become a very integral part because CBSE is the largest board that is happening in the entire country. It is the national curriculum, right? And CBSE is also spread out to other countries around. So when we're talking about that, we need to know what this National Skills Qualification Framework is all about. Please go ahead and read what this policy aims at, right? Also read about what the skill-based learning is, where competency again comes in. All of this is connected to your university admissions. lot of higher education, and I'm sure sir will agree with me, Anuj sir, that there are short-term courses, certifications which actually hold more value than your PG courses, than your post-graduation. There are so many certifications like that.
Yes, ma'am. There is even 6 months course for business process outsourcing in Indira Gandhi.
Right.
And they have been, it's really liked by all.
Right. There are so many courses, short-term courses that actually equip the child to get a job. And that is where this entire poverty thing in the benchmark will come up, right? We will actually be able to educate our masses. Collaborate with industries. Please don't leave it to the career counselor. As senior school teachers, as middle school teachers, or even at the primary level, you could just have a parent walk into the class and talk about something. Internationally, this is done. This is actually done where one parent who's particularly working in a particular industry walks into the class, just talks to a group of children and tells them, can we please stop? How to collaborate with industry and move on, right? Of course, 𝗂𝗃𝗂𝗃 in skill development plays a very important role. This is for grade 6 to 8, 30-hour projects, working on real life situations where maybe gardens, kitchen gardens, biodiversity, working with machines, working in community service. Community service also happens to be a very important thing for your university applications. So make sure that you're doing it. Yes, Jyoti ma'am. Jyoti ma'am, you want to say something? You raise your hand. Okay. All right. NEP also focuses a lot on technology integration, not just for students, for teachers as well. There is so much of tech. See, AI is not going anywhere. Please understand this thing. All of those people who were scared of AI, कि AI तो हमारी jobs ले जाएगा, AI हमारी jobs खा जाएगा. Please understand, AI को अपना दोस्त बना लो. And work with it. Use it to make lesson plans. Use it to make question papers. There are so many apps out there. Please make sure that you use it. There are 110 ways. There are so many online learning resources. There are online assessments which the children absolutely love doing. So all you could do is have that thing happening in the classroom and do an online assessment with them. If they're sitting at home, like summer.
नीरज का है कोई form?
Twinkle ma'am. No problem, no problem. All right. So online assessments, children are sitting at home. Don't give them an assessment which they can copy with from AI. Do it time-based. There are so many ways. You are smarter than them, right? You have to be smarter than them. A lot of virtual labs. And then blended learning. Children love it when you play a video and then explain the concept. Especially in things like psychology, where there are so many experiments to be explained. So when you put in that experiment, the official site of that experiment, the video of that experiment, and then you explain it, the audio visual stays in the mind for a longer period of time. For you also, so this is a website called Naga Ed, and I took this entire thing from there because they have lovely programs. Not asking you to buy any programs, but just think about it. And that's what teachers training is, and that's what Skillveda is doing. We are trying to train teachers to make sure that learning doesn't stop sitting at home as well. Now, this is an activity for you. I'm sure, Twinkle-ji, we don't have the time to do this activity.
For 2 minutes, we can do it. Just give them the QR code. They will do later on. We can do like this.
So you can take a screenshot of this QR code. This is an online AI platform for you to help develop lesson plans. There are so many, not just develop, there are so many ready lesson plans there which you can adapt from. And I particularly put this here because I wanted you to use ready-made lesson plans. Why do you have to make a new one every time? You have to only tweak it. You have to only adapt it to what your current scenario is. हर समय नई चीज scratch से बनाने नहीं बैठना है. You have limited time and we are expecting too much out of you. Simple. CBSE, school, everyone's expecting too much out of you. Save your time. Make sure these 4-5 things are taken into account. your lesson plan is inclusive enough. You can have it in multiple languages. It is doing a holistic development and assessment. It is looking after the core competency and it is including skill. Obviously, not all of them can be included in one lesson plan. Please, ये कोशिश भी मत करना कि अब सब कुछ ही एक ही lesson plan में डाल दो. वो lesson plan 35 minutes की जगह 85 minutes का बन गया.
If someone has tried, so we can know about it.
Can we know it? If someone has already taken up any lesson plan, I think it's going to be too soon, ma'am. Because
Ma'am, it's class 7 social sciences lesson plan.
Great, Anuj sir, Hanji.
Ma'am, it's only class 7, but I'm looking for my.
So you can just go onto this website and you can really explore well. All right?
Right, ma'am. Right, ma'am.
Right. Okay. Now, competency is actually the answer of bridging the gap between classrooms and careers. Please understand one thing, our industry does not lack opportunities. What we lack, where we are going wrong, is the void that we have between classroom to industry. आप industry वालों से पूछोगे, लोग नहीं हैं. They are not competent enough to come on board and join us. आप बच्चों से पूछोगे, उनको लगेगा employment नहीं है. But the fact is that there is a huge void when recruiters sit across children cannot express enough. They are not career ready. And sorry, but this is not the job of universities only. We have to start this right at the primary and middle level. At the preparatory stage, at the foundational stage, at the middle school stage. It cannot come all of a sudden at university level that, okay, now my child will start speaking in the language that is required by the MNC, by the corporate. That doesn't happen. No miracles are happening here, please. So we have to make sure that we are inculcating all of this. And that is what NEP stresses upon. NEP is also connecting. This is just going to be a very brief slide. There is an ABC ID, there is an APAR ID, and there is a credit-based system. What this ABC ID is, this is the academic bank of credits, where this Ministry of Education has connected your school level credits, your university level credits in your DigiLocker. Now, APAR ID is the ID. I'm sure a lot of schools are giving it already. They've already given it, right? It is a mandatory ID for everyone to take. APAR ID से आपका ये register हो जाता है. Please go on to the APAR website. In fact, there is an official website. What I'll do is I will put it on I'll give it to ma'am and she'll pass it on. The Government of India official website. It explains very clearly how this entire thing is connected. And we have to understand that the university has to be connected to what we are doing in school. There is a complete transfer and redemption of credits, even for higher education. So make sure that you understand this if you need to explain it. Coming very quickly and very briefly to the higher education. Level 1, exit after year 1. Level 2, exit after year 2. Level 3, exit after bachelor's degree. And level 4 is your bachelor's honors degree. Honors with research. Gone are the days when it was either a 3-year degree or nothing. If a child had to drop out for some reason, financial, personal, exposure, he could not come back to school, to higher education. But now they can. Please tell this to children. There are certain children who will not commit to a 5-year course or a 4-year course because they feel it's not good enough. How do I commit for 4 years? Just to give you a case study, there was this brilliant child I had who had qualified for JEE Advanced, but said that, ma'am, I want to work on my startup, so I will not attempt my JEE Advanced course, no exam. I convinced him for the IIT BS degree in data science. Now, this BS degree was one of those pioneers degrees to follow NEP structure, give you an exit after year 1, year 2, year 3, and year 4. And I just convinced him to go for year 1. If he didn't like it, he could just drop out with his undergrad certificate. And done. He is right now in year 4 and he's only too happy. Side by side has worked on his startup. and he's doing extremely well. So this is just one example. I'm sure there are many like that. So make sure you are telling the children about it. Now we come to the Q&A, and now I have a question for all of you. Where do you think you feel the challenges are in executing all of this NEP? Yes, where do you think are the challenges in executing the NEP? I know time constraint to hai hi. वो तो by default सबका है ही. Anybody who would want to share that I want to do this, but these are the challenges? Some questions have been answered while we were going through the webinar, and I'm very glad that we could take up those questions, because I never want the webinar to be a one-way traffic. It's never interesting, not even for me. So, okay, there are a lot of challenges in NEP, but our job, simple, our mission is to overcome those challenges and make sure we integrate what is expected of the NEP, because this is for a better tomorrow. This is how India will actually come up at the global level, and not just a population that is getting the global exposure. This is how the masses will come up to a global level. And NEP is a beautiful document. Please read it. Just take your time. Spend 15-20 minutes every day to read an excerpt. Highlight it and try and put it through your lesson planning. Make sure you do the lesson plan activity. Make sure that you're reading more and more journals. Make sure that you're collaborating with each other to understand how things are going on in the world. And it's not just your school. Make sure you're attending more and more webinars like this, because this is where you're talking to other people from different schools. Your school, you already know what's happening, right? You have to know what is happening in the other schools. That's what these workshops are all about. So NEP is that brilliant document which is set to bring about a change. Of course, the mission is long drawn and it's not going to happen overnight, but we have to make sure that we do it. All right, this is the end of it. It is about empowering. It is about multidisciplinary learners. It is about moving away from silos, from just isolated classrooms. One subject, one classroom, you're locked. Let's not lock the children. Let's not get them rigid. Right. Thank you very much. I think that's about it. Any feedback, any questions, please, the room is open.
Thank you, ma'am. It was an excellent presentation. I would say more than excellent.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. It's nice.
Thank you, ma'am.
We will be sending the notes and the feedback pop in the group. If any questions for the timing, then you can ask. We will be sending everything in the group.
शीतल, can I say something?
Sir, please, I was waiting for your comment.
Achha, those of you who have a question regarding Parak, let me tell you, Parak is performance analysis, reasoning of assessment of knowledge for holistic learning. And if you want to contact the Parak head office, you may contact Mrs. Indrani Bhaduri or Mrs. Bhashpati Dey at the NCERT office. That's it.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. You've always been a help to our webinars.
Welcome. Welcome, ma'am. Welcome so much.
Right.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
Ji. Thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you, Sheetal ji, for such a descriptive session. Mamta ji, can you mute yourself? Thank you. Yeah, Gopal ji, you want to ask something? Go ahead. Gopal ji, you've raised your hand. You want to ask something? Thank
Good
you.
evening.
Yeah.
Good evening. Thank you so much, ma'am. But ma'am, please, can you provide us the PDF of all these presentations, all these?
I will send you the PDF
We
of this
will be sharing
presentation.
everything in the group. Don't worry, Ankita ji.
We have a PDF of notes also. I will share the PDF of this presentation also. No problem.
Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Sheetal ji.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. Pleasure.